This question's for Mike. Mike, you came to Utah with so much playoff experience, both just as a player and in Memphis. My question is, like, now that you're on the Jazz, what similarities do you see between those Memphis days when they were at the height of their abilities and this Jazz team?
Well, I think the principle of defense is really huge here. In Memphis, that was something we hung our hat on. We knew that's something that can travel in the playoffs, and when you're playing, not so well or not making shots, defense will get you through. And the depth, I think depth is another thing. We didn't rely on one or two guys. We relied on just the team aspect of it, and got different performances from different guys each night. So here I feel like we have similar qualities. A lot of guys that we can lean on, which makes it pretty hard to defend.
Question back there from Ben.
Both of you are unique, Mike. I know that changes this year, but you've played your whole careers with one team. What's the general familiarity with other players in the league when you haven't played with a lot of different players around the league? Like with each other, how well do you know each other coming in day one?
I don't like Mike at all. Nah. I think you just get to know guys. It's only my 6th year or whatever. Mike's obviously been around a hell of a lot longer than me. But you get to know guys. You get to know guys through other guys. Me knowing Mark a little bit better, I got to know Mike a little bit, playing against him and talking a little bit. But it's never the same as what you do when you obviously get to play with somebody. So we're excited for all our new additions and get this year started.
Mike, you're asked to bring, beside a veteran quality and your point guard skills, leadership to this team. Can you talk about that and what your skills are in terms of being a leader and how you hope to bring that to this team and help you make it to the next level?
Really, I'm just coming to be myself. I'm not gonna try to come in and be overwhelming or take over the room, because these guys have played together for a while, and Donovan's turned into a great leader. Joe's a great leader. Rudy, all these guys lead in different ways. And my particular way just might be a little bit different. So I might just, I demand a lot out of myself, which means I demand a lot out of the team in the same aspect. So I basically just practice what I preach. If I want guys to be in early or just be more professional, I got to be showing that as well. I'll be the first one, or in the gym or whatever I have to do to let everybody know where I stand, and that's how I've always been. And like I said, it's just easier because I can just be myself, and we got great coaches and great leadership there, so it should be pretty easy.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of people are excited to watch you and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt. What excites you most about playing alongside him, and what are you expecting in that backcourt?
Well, it's exciting. I mean, he's, very talented, probably one of the more talented guys I've had a chance to have as a teammate, and he's just so selfless at the same time. He's a guy that makes plays for a lot of people, can take over games, and for me, just to be able to sometimes just watch, just be in a corner and just watch it happen will be fun, and it should be just a fun ride for everybody.
Tony Jones back here.
Joe, given
Mike wanted to answer all the questions, so we were trying.
Thank you.
given your World Cup responsibilities, I mean, are there any fatigue concerns in the preseason? Are there any load management in your future, especially in the preseason, not in the regular season, but just in the preseason?
I only landed 36 hours ago, so I'm fatigued either way right now. But I haven't obviously sat down with that kind of medical staff yet to work that out, or if there is going to be. Obviously, like Mike said, with the depth of our team, I think we can, even during the regular season, use it at times if guys need a break at some point. And I guess for me, with the national team, I've done it every year since I was 17, so it's not really too different for me. But obviously, there's going to be times that things might need to be looked at. But yeah, there's zero concern from my end of that.
Mike, Dennis Lindsay was in here earlier, and he referred to you as a Pied Piper, kind of intimated that you might have been out recruiting, trying to land some guys in the summer.
Is that right?
What did you do? How do you do that? How did you try to help the team?
Honestly, I guess I don't know. I've had a lot of relationships with guys throughout my career, and whether playing against them or with them on the same team. And once I found out I was coming here, obviously
He was so excited to play with me.
Yeah, It really was Joe. Joe was the main reason. He was the first one to text me, so I was excited. But just wanted to, I just want to win, and I just thought of, whoever they're looking at, let me know, and whatever I can do to help, whether it's text or calling the guys if I know them, and just happen to be Jeff and guys like Ed and Emmanuel, I'll give them a call and see where their mind's at, and tell them if they want to win and be a part of a good culture. I feel like this is the place to be, and they all bought in.
Front row.
I'm Julie Jag. I'm from the Salt Lake Tribune. So the NBA has the new rule about heights and verifying heights, sizing up your new, sizing up your new teammates. Is there anybody that you think particularly might have a chance to either gain or lose some inches?
Look at that thing on the top of his head. He gained about 6 inches.
You're right.
I was 6'9", so I'm a 6'9" backup point guard. So
I think I'm the same height as I'm listed. I don't know about Donovan though.
Donovan's definitely smaller.
Have you been now through high school, like through your younger years? Has that always been kind of?
I've been around 6'1", so I might give or take the day or the hair, just around there.
Question for John. With all the new additions, including yourself, Mike, what kind of offensive and defensive versatility do you think the Jazz are capable of this year?
We definitely have a lot of options. I think we have a team, like we mentioned earlier, that with our depth and guys who play both sides of the ball, allows us to get into a lot of different schemes and a lot of different plays that other teams might not be able to do, which is exciting. We can let Joe guard point guards like he's guarded me his whole career, and I can guard whoever. So it just depends. You have so many different options, and people can do different things, and it's exciting when you have that versatility. And offensively, with a guy like Rudy rolling down the middle, and 4 playmakers and shooters around, and most times will, I think, change the game a little bit for everybody.
Mike, what did you know, or what was your impression of Quinn Snyder as a coach before you came here, and what have your impressions been since you've been able to connect with him a bit?
In regards to coach, I always thought he was a great coach. I didn't know him well, obviously, until the summertime, and he's really intense. He really knows his stuff. When he tells you he's going to talk to you for 5 minutes, it might be like an hour, but I've learned that, over the summer, but it's great, man. He's just constantly thinking of ways to improve the team, himself as a coach, and I think it'll be good for me, to have a guy like that who's just looking at me and trying to make me a better person and player every day, and I know he does that for the rest of the team.
Mike, I guess one of the biggest storylines in the early part of the season is how quickly all the new guys are going to mesh. What are your thoughts on that, and can you help accelerate that process?
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think that the guys we've brought in, good vets. Luckily, we've been together for a while. Other than the guys who are overseas playing all summer, we've been playing basketball the last couple of weeks together, and just getting a little bit of a head start on it, and we know each other pretty well. So I think that it'll be pretty easy for us to kind of tag along and figure out things as we go, because there's a lot that I have to learn that Joe and Donnie and all those guys already know about the system and how coach coaches and all that stuff, and we're just trying to be as quick a learners as we can, and hopefully get it started off right.
Just to kind of follow up on that, Joe, you haven't been here for a few years. What are some of the things that Mike and the other new guys can kind of most look forward to or perhaps dread in terms of getting up to speed with Quinn's system?
All those 3-hour practices we have, right? I mean, it's not anything that's kind of too complicated, I don't think. And like Mike said, we've got extremely intelligent guys that have been here and are still here, and obviously the guys we've brought in. So as intense as coach is, he lets us play as well. And I think that's a part of the reason the guys that are here because they can make plays and kind of let us play a little bit as well. So obviously we'll have rules, we'll have our system, which is defensively first, and then kind of getting out of that with whatever offense we're going to run. But yeah, it's all pretty read-based. Once you know the defensive side of it, the offensive side is really easy because he lets us play. So the defensive end's a bit more complicated, but back at the end of the day, when you've got Rudy back there, it kind of solves a lot of problems. So yeah, it'll take obviously a little bit of time, but it's not, like I said, with intelligent players, it gets pretty it gets sped up pretty quickly.
We'll do Ryan here in the front row, then about 2 more questions.
Joe, have you had a chance at all during the offseason to communicate with Dante, and do you know where he's at with kind of the latest, I guess mentally as much as anything, with the latest setback?
Yeah, he was in Melbourne a little bit when I was there, and so I saw him a bit, obviously spoke to him a little bit too, but he's in a good spot. I think obviously at the start of the injury, when you first get injured, it hits you pretty hard, especially for him who's unfortunately been injured a little bit this last couple of years. But yeah, he's in a great spot. From, like I said, I haven't been here the last few weeks with the national team, but from all reports that our guys are saying, he looks good. But you can wait till Quinn gets in here to get a real answer on where he's at. I don't know what targets he's trying to hit or whatever, but from a mental side, I think he's in a really good spot. I think he can really help our team this year.
We've got Andy and Tony, and if number 45 has a question, if time permits.
Hell no.
Mike, tell us, I know you worked out with Donovan a little bit this summer.
They posted about it enough,
They
didn't
did.
Jesus.
And then, I mean, off the court, just kind of, what's the process like
Can't
of
wait
moving?
till Mike posts a picture about me.
What's the process like of moving from a place you've lived for, 11, 12 years now to a new city like Salt Lake?
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the question.
2-part question. 1, what did you do on court this season, especially with Donovan? 2, off court, just what's the process like of moving to Salt Lake?
Oh yeah, no, it was good to connect with Donovan in the summertime and get a couple of days of work in. It's my first time really being around him, so just being able to spend time and work on a game that we love and kind of send a message that we're getting ready for the year was pretty cool. Secondly, just the process of coming out here has been great. I mean, it's never easy moving anywhere. Trying to get the kids and the wife, everybody up to speed and familiar with the community and stuff like that is great. So the fans and the support that we've had so far has been unreal, and I'm just looking forward to an exciting year here in the city.
Tony Jones over here.
Mike, what's the ceiling of this team?
Well, obviously our ultimate goal is to win a championship. I think that's ultimately, but we're not fooling ourselves like we've been there and done that. We're going to come in and work every day and try to maximize each day. So I think each day will set us up for the next, and hopefully we'll give ourselves the best chance of achieving each goal we put out.
Last question.
This question is for both of y'all.
Can you speak?
This question is for both of you guys, plural, more than one. So, in basketball they have duos, shooting duos. You have the Splash Brothers. Mike, I'll ask you first. What do we call Bojan and Joe?
Oh my gosh.
What do we call that? What do we call the duo there?
Like a nickname?
Yeah,
like the Bojo Show?
You've been thinking about that.
I just thought of it.
There's no way you just
like
thought
that.
about that.
I swear.
Thank you.
Quick.
Oh, Joe, I need one from you too, please.
That one's great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donovan.
All right, thank you very much. Joe
Thanks,
Ingles,
guys.
Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert will be next up on the dais.